Hi, it's Dr. Jenny and Dr. Daniel from Spinal Corrective Center in Amherst, New Hampshire. And we are talking about how long it takes to get adjusted.
Oh.
Time.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing.
It is.
Some people want an adjustment to take like an hour, and some people want it to take a minute, and it's weird how we put value on time.
Yeah.
You know, like a life-saving injection could take 20 seconds, but we don't necessarily say, oh, but that's all it took.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas, you know, I could do this to your back for 3 hours, and it doesn't necessarily mean you had a better adjustment.
It's very true.
So time is a little strange. So let me kind of explain the time element of care. The first 2 visits take some time. I would say really budget an hour in the office.
For each of those
those 2 visits. Because we're gathering information. So we're doing a lot of time up front to understand everything about the patient, to understand everything we can about their spine, and then behind the scenes, we put in at least another half hour per patient, at least, just analyzing x-rays and reading over the notes and talking and having a conversation about them.
Because it's all about building a strong foundation of where we know your spine and your health history. And so any decision we make moving forward with your care is built on that foundation.
And then really explaining it to the patient. So making sure they understand their spine, they understand our recommendations, really talking them through the first adjustment so they understand what's happening, and then having that conversation to make sure they're comfortable with what we're doing and giving us feedback. So, and then, you know, the first several visits are really getting feedback on how they responded to the adjustment and how their body healing is going. So there's some definite time in the beginning. But, you know, once we understand someone's spine and once we understand what our goals are, it's not uncommon that someone just comes in for an adjustment and it's something they fit in before or after work. And they literally could maybe even be physically in the office less than 10 minutes. It's pretty fast. And once in a while you might have someone say, you know, I really like it when you spend more time with me. And so they'll schedule at a time that maybe isn't as busy. Then other people love it because it's like, I'm here right when the door opens, I can be out in a few minutes and get to work on time, and it's not a huge hassle in your life.
And it's also us knowing, since we spend a lot of prep work up front, we know their case, and so we know when they come in with something if we need to step off and take a bit more time. Yeah, that's true. So really it's just a conversation and a relationship you're building with your doctors to make sure you're getting what you need. And that may be literally a few minutes on one visit, or it may be quite a bit of time. Be well, everybody.